dangerous game you play.
Danger and violence followed Murray, leaving him poised to discover a sport that had as few rules as he did. In 2000, Murray had 2 mixed martial arts wins under his belt. The 22-year-old traveled to Bettendorf, Iowa, to meet with legendary trainer Pat Miletich. There, he took his fighting career to the next level.
He was physically a very gifted guy, very, very fast, very strong. He would have probably been a world champion.
By July 2002, Murray had a 4-1 record. Then Miletich witnessed the fight that put Murray on the map, one that took place outside the ring. Following the UFC's first ever event in London, a brawl left Murray standing toe-to-toe with Tito Ortiz, then the UFC's light heavyweight champion.
Tito threw a left hook at him and missed. Lee obviously ducked out of the way, threw a 5-punch combo. Every punch connected perfectly. Bone on bone, just you could hear him, very solid shots. Tito went down. Lee kicked him in the head twice. Even though it was, argued by Tito, the world champ got throttled in an alley by an English MMA fighter, and stardom was born.
Fighting out of London, England,
January 2004. With 7 wins under his belt, Murray, the 6'2", 185-pound middleweight, made his pay-per-view debut in Las Vegas.
Our night is officially underway. Lee Murray in the white trunks, Rivera in the dark trunks.
Murray shocked his rival with a vicious ground assault, forcing him into submission in 1 minute and 45 seconds.
His left foot and tucked it in tight. This is a bad spot.
Can he finish? It's all over. It's over. Lee Murray by submission.
Despite that career-making win, Murray never fought in the U.S. or the UFC again. In June 2004, a year and a half before the Securitas heist, English prosecutors filed attempted felony road rage charges against Murray for nearly beating to death a motorist who sideswiped his car. The indictment led the U.S. State Department to deny Murray a work visa, derailing his dreams of being an MMA star in America. Not long after the road rage case was dismissed, authorities say Murray left the first clue that he was sizing up the Securitas cash warehouse. In July 2005, Murray was issued a summons for loitering on this side street, which has a clear view of the Securitas loading bay. British prosecutors say this transcription of a cell phone call is a conversation a month before the heist between Murray and a man later convicted in the robbery. Murray's lawyers deny that the person on the call is Murray. "I can't show my face in there. Been in the newspapers and the telly, especially when I have my comeback fight. It'll be all over the newspapers, all the national newspapers." By the time investigators became convinced that Murray was the mastermind, he had fled here, to Morocco, his father's birthplace, and a country that has no extradition treaty with Britain. Once in Morocco, Murray paid $1.5 million in cash for this gated mansion in the capital city of Rabat. The lavish home, now seized, has a life-size mural of Murray's one and only UFC fight, hand-painted on the living room wall. But he didn't enjoy it for long.
Moroccan police officers arrested a 26-year-old man, Lee Murray of Sidcup, South London.
June 25th, 2006, just 3 months after the heist. After British authorities asked Moroccan officials to monitor Murray, he's busted for cocaine possession and resisting arrest. Murray was sentenced to 8 months. Today, Murray sits in solitary in this Moroccan jail, a caged fighter, while the fight over his extradition back to Britain to face charges for the Securitas heist plays out. But Murray's attorneys claim he is entitled to asylum.
The relationship between the King of Morocco and his subject is so strong that there is no way that any court will give a decision to extradite him.
When did Lee become a Moroccan national?
As soon as he was born. Anybody whose father is Moroccan is Moroccan.
The British say that Lee Murray masterminded the biggest cash haul, the biggest cash crime in British history.
I think in the world history.
In the world?
In the world, yes. Now, according to what he tells me, he says he has nothing to do with this robbery.
In January, 5 defendants were found guilty in a British courtroom. They were sentenced to a total of 140 years in prison. With nearly $50 million still missing, and with a second trial slated for the fall, prosecutors would like to see Lee Murray face a British judge and jury. The Moroccan Supreme Court is expected to rule on Murray's extradition later this year. If it sides with Murray, the British could try him on Moroccan soil, where the maximum sentence could be 10 years. But Murray's friends don't discount the possibility that he'll beat the rap entirely.
He's like a cat. He's got 9 lives. I mean, I've seen him get out some major, some major scrapes.
More than 2 years after he was jailed, Murray remains in a cramped cell in solitary. He passes time writing letters to friends like Milicic.
This was the first one. I'm not in the average prison. It takes a real tough guy to get through what I've been through. And I laugh at all the tough guys. Signed, Lee Murray.
If all of this stuff is true, he's the baddest of the bad. That's a bad boy. Anybody that's got the guts to go in and go into a money depository that has so much money in it that you can only leave with a certain amount of it because you got no more room in the truck. You got some guts. You got big brass ones.
I think that whether or not he did this, he enjoys having this crime attributed to him. And I think he revels in the legend that he's building around it.
You didn't get a chance to talk to him, and if you did, other than asking him whether he did it and why he did it, what would you want to ask him most?
You know, there was a moment in a kebab joint where one of his friends has the cell phone open talking to Lee. And he says, you can ask him one question. And I froze. I couldn't at that moment ask him, did you do it? It just didn't seem right. So I asked, and I don't know where this popped into my head, what's your favorite movie? His friend looks into the receiver, kind of nods, asks the question, comes back, and he says, Lee says it's 3. Scarface, Gotti, and The Bank Job.